Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special and positive, well, mostly positive news video. I don't quite know how I'm going to structure this exactly, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to say either. I also want to point out something about OBS fucked itself, something I tried to do for the recent um, live commentary that we just did today, like setting that up, fucked how I normally would present the standard videos. I apologize for that. It will be fixed for the next main video next week on Saturday. So sorry, basically. But we're going to have to do it in this form for now. Basically, today was the On Horizons broadcast from Ghost Ship. They went through a lot of things, including all of the Ghost Ship publishing titles, except Dark Swarm, which is obviously is present on this roadmap, however. They also talked a little bit about the future of Ghost Ship publishing and Ghost Ship games in terms of Rocore and Deep Rock and all the other games as well. And they also got a lot into Season 5 specifically, which I will be talking about a little bit, but we're going to be talking about it a lot on both the podcast this week and next week's main video. Today I want to briefly go over what was actually announced and said about all of these things. So let's start with the games and dates and whatnot with this Ghost Ship publishing roadmap, which is very hard to look at, to be honest. It's a little bit confusing. It's a little bit bitter. There's a lot of bad stuff in here that is really only alleviated by how amazing Season 5 is for real. So we've got 2024 starting with the release. Well, actually, let's focus on the Deep Rock stuff. So Season 5 in June, we knew that, and it has not changed, which is very, very nice. However, what is absent from 2024 entirely is Rocore. Rocore has been delayed a lot. The closed alpha was originally meant to launch in Q1 of this year. It has been pushed to Q1 of next year. And Rocore itself, at least in the form of the early access launch, might not have been delayed by a full year, but it's also not known even what quarter of next year it could come out. They said it would be at least 6 months after the closed alpha launch, which means it could launch in Q3 next year, but I wouldn't place any bets on it. It's going to be a while. Rocore has seen a significant delay. It's hard to know exactly why, although based on what they said, it seems like it had a lot to do with the maintenance updates and also Season 5. But honestly, looking at Season 5, it was probably worth it. Season 6, however, is non-existent. It honestly could be up to 2 years away. Genuinely, it's only going to they're only going to start working on it at all once Rocore has released into early access, which is going to be a long time anyway. I would say Season 6 is at most, at the very best, could be Q1 2026, which is kind of nuts. It's really, really ridiculous, actually. But let's talk about what was actually revealed for Season 6, or Season 5, sorry. So I have this PowerPoint set up with all of the screenshots. We're going to use this on the next main video next Saturday, but I'm going to use this to sort of go over all the things that were truly announced for Season 5. So the actual theme and the title, Drilling Deeper, it's really focused around Deep Rock Galactic, the company, going deeper, and that causing the new problems. They need a new source of Morkite, and they found it in the form of Morkite seeds, which will be finding in the mission, Deep Scan, which is a really weird mission structurally. It involves lots of things, lots of objectives, such as actually finding these Morkite seeds buried in Morkite crystals, and then you have to dig them out, and then use this thing to actually siphon them out or something. And then there's actually a drill elevator section, which looks absurd. Very high concept, but also still supposedly trying to be a more basic mission type in most ways. It looks extremely exciting. You'll be going to like new weird locations, not a new biome, just a new sort of cave type that they've added. And that's sort of the mission itself. We also have the Corestone season event, which is just the main season event. It's very ambiguous to what it is. It initially involves mining, but of course there are more layers to it than just mining a big rock. It also introduces another new mineral called, I can't remember what it's called, like Corestone or something very, well, yeah, I mean, there's Corestone there, but it's not Exponite. We also have revealed new enemies, a couple new stationary enemies, as well as the Glyphid Stalker. So we have the Barrage Infector, which clearly belongs to the Spitballer family. It's kind of like a Tri-Jaw Spitballer. it will launch a barrage. Well, more like a septic spreader actually. It will launch a barrage of acid, basically, that will become, as far as we know, will become pools on the ground. It was adding the Vartok Scale Bramble, which is a horrifying looking stationary enemy that has invokes both the Core Tyrant Weed and the Rival Comms Router, to be honest. It's a very strange looking creature. You have to find these weak points that will be, you know, trail away from the main creature. There'll be like wires that lead off, so they could be in any location. That should be really interesting. And of course, the Glyphid Stalker itself, who they're not revealing the full appearance of, although it is a mean new Glyphid. And behavior-wise, it sounds very cool. We'll get more into that next week. New overclocks, 12 new overclocks. Going to briefly go over the fact that they exist, basically. But more importantly, there is actually going to be a reworked overclock. So there'll be a total of 13 new overclocks, although one of them would be a rework of a pre-existing overclock, a full rework. New performance passing cosmetic trees, what we'd expect, but the new framework looks very nice. But more importantly, an actual new feature that was not announced in the original feature list is Hazard 5 Plus, a new form of difficulty, not Hazard 6, by the way. This will be unlocked by a new assignment called Beyond Lethal, which obviously you can only access after unlocking Hazard 5 anyway, because you can only activate this system when you're playing on Hazard 5. You'll basically unlock these options here for you to tamper with, play around with. You can have up to 2 tiers for each modifier. There might end up being more modifiers, there might end up being more tiers. I think this is not 100%, finalized, but we have things like enemy aggressiveness, enemy frequency, player vulnerability, and enemy toughness that you can modify to increase your hazard bonus and difficulty even further, which is awesome. It's not Hazard 6, but it is still taking the game beyond Hazard 5, which is a really awesome approach. Reactivating seasons there's no new information on that, but there is the promotion tracker, which is by far the most exciting feature for me. I literally screamed and cried when we saw this. So your promotions will now be tracked beyond the original Legendary 3 threshold. We don't know exactly how it's going to work. Obviously, it's fairly simple. It just tracks the number and displays it in this form, instead of the original just 3 Legendary stars. But we don't know if this includes the first 3 tiers of Legendary or not. It might. We will have to do some research on that. But now, you're finally going to have your promotions displayed over Legendary 3, and I could not be happier. This is the number one thing I've wanted since I first got a class to promotion level to Legendary 3, and it's finally happened. And obviously, I might not sound super excited, but I got so much out during the stream. That's when I really just got it all out my system, which is good. More new features. We're getting some just a smattering of new anomalies and warnings, which is awesome. Blood sugar makes enemies drop red sugar. Oh, hold on. Oh, I don't know exactly how it's going to work. It might just turn every enemy into a vampire enemy that you can absorb health from. Bit unclear how exactly it's going to work. We've got secret secondary anomaly, which will give you a secondary objective that you won't know, as far as I can tell, until you get into the mission, or you only know once you actually find the resources associated with it. A little bit unclear. Hopefully that brings Dystrom to every other mission type. Duck and Cover is a new warning, which increases the frequency of ranged enemies, which is horrifying. And Ebonite Outbreak, which is awesome. Another new warning. It adds the Ebonite enemies from the machine event, Ebonite Infestation, into just the mission as normal enemies that you encounter. I was seeing as part of Pressure Waves and Swarms, so that's the Ebonite Grunt and the Ebonite Praetorian. It will also, obviously, these are enemies that can only be killed through melee damage. In the machine event, you obviously have the Pickaxe Overcharge Sprinkler, which will throw out power-ups that, reduce your power attack cooldown to allow you to kill the enemies easier. They have said they will be implementing this in some way. I think Molly, or whatever your deposit point happens to be, will spew the power-ups, basically. Really exciting for them to be adding new anomalies and warnings. The cosmetic filtering has kind of been revealed in terms of how it works. We'll get more into that next week, but it looks pretty comprehensive. It allows you to divide between types of the cosmetics as well as seasons. So there we have beards, we've got gilded and even long masks, which is also another very good classification. Much more for the headgears, obviously. And even a small amount for the company approved, for the randomization. Improved cosmetic randomizer. We have two options. We can choose between company approved and festive. Festive is basically just associated with events, and company approved will be everything else, I assume. More options for that would have been nice, but it's still cool that they're doing anything with the randomizer, so good work there. Some improvements to the player affliction overlays. This is kind of the screen effects here. They do look better. New K formations, which is awesome. Whenever they do this, it's really awesome. I think it's like 20. They might have said 29. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, awesome to get more of those. Even better, new Omoran phase, which is really going to elevate escort duty. It's something we've been asking for a while. Tyler specifically had a great idea of introducing a new phase and allowing it to randomize between the three phases. That seems to be the direction they're going. It's been revealed to be a sort of trapping mechanic where the Omoran will encase you in its rock. And that will be what it does during that phase. We also got the announcement of, obviously, when we got the weapon maintenance system in the November maintenance update last year, it was a really big surprise. And obviously, it entailed the new notion that we would get a maintenance paint job with every future season. We have discovered, obviously, through the roadmap that Season 6 is years away. So what they've done is actually really nice. They've added 3 maintenance paint jobs in Season 5, just alone. 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3. And of course, you can expect showcases for all of these when they do launch. Awesome stuff. And still to be revealed will be the Armored DLC, the full key art release date, more teasers, and of course a narrated trailer, and more, all of which we will cover in as much detail as possible. And it's all extremely exciting. Every part of Season 5 sounds absolutely amazing, even the reactivating old seasons feature. Please let me know what feature you are most excited for. For me, obviously the new promotions. I think for Tyler it might actually be the Omoran phase thing, but he's still very excited about all of it as well. It all sounds fantastic. The future of Deep Rock is very uncertain. It might end after Season 6. That could potentially be the last season. Rogue Core is clearly what they want to shift to, but they did not skimp on making Season 5 an absolute monster of an update. So hats off to Ghost Ship. Obviously, if you want to stay on top of everything to do with Season 5, everything to do with Deep Rock Forever, and Rogue Core, of course, as well, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. You will stay up to date if you stick with us with Battle Vision. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in, as always. Thank you, Ghost Ship, just for being awesome. And please keep an eye out for the podcast episode this Saturday, where we will just get into all of our thoughts on the entire stream, everything that was revealed about Ghost Ship Publishing and Season 5 and Rogue Core specifically. It's going to be exciting, it's going to be weird, there's going to be mixed feelings, but also a lot of positivity at the same time. So thank you once again, and we'll see you soon, hopefully.